Good day YouTube, I'm Hills on the Hunt, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we have my most recent watches, so let's go. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in today's video we've got my most recent watches. This is from the start of January to yesterday, so 17th of January, so about just over 2 weeks. I mean, in and out of watching, I've had a lot of stuff personal wise going on at home. So it's kind of made sense to kind of do 2 weeks in one video. Otherwise, it would have been like a week of 4 videos and a week of 4 watches and a week of 4 watches, and just would have made no sense. So there is actually in total it's actually 11 in total. I did have a couple of Wednesdays and Thursdays working from home, so I managed to get a couple of movies in while I was in between working. So yeah, it's all good, but yeah, we'll go through them. What I'll do is with the ratings is I'll put my Letterboxd rating in the corner once I've got to the end of each clip, so you can see exactly what I rate them. But yeah, I'll attach them kind of above me here, this empty space. But yeah, we'll go from there. I'm going to try out kind of new way of reviewing, so go into a little bit more detail about director, cast, and whatnot, and just break down bit by bit. So we'll try it, see how we go. Let me know in the comments as always kind of what you thought and maybe things I can change. So yeah, we'll start. We'll start and we'll go with the first movie I watched. Alright, so the first movie I watched to start the year off was Jason X. From 2002, 93 minutes, directed by Jim Isaac, starring Kane Hodder, the incredible Kane Hodder as Jason, Lexa Doig, David Cronenberg, Lisa Ryder, and Peter Mensa. Listen, this movie gets hate, and I don't understand why. I love it. It's just silly fun. It really is. Movie starts in a locked facility where they've got Jason held. And obviously in any situation, people get greedy and they want to try and just destroy Jason, and they release him. Upon releasing him, one of the care advisors, like one of the scientists there, is trapped in and frozen with Jason. And yeah, they're just frozen together, and the story kind of moves ahead back like 400 years or whatever it is to like 2455, when they wake up on a ship. She gets woken up on a ship with these kind of scientists, doctors and whatnot, on their way home, and they picked up these two, both her and Jason, and they're kind of going back home. One thing you learn is whether it's 1990, 1970, 1980, 2000, 2455, there's going to be horny teenagers on these kind of ships or any kind of missions, and nothing's different here. And obviously, you know, you can kind of guess what happens. Jason wakes up, gets released, and causes chaos on the ship. There are some really fun kills in this movie. Really fun kills if you have not seen this. The first one where he freezes a woman's face and then just smashes it. Just brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. It's just brutality at its best. So yeah, it's a really enjoyable fun. Don't take this movie too seriously. It is just there for popcorn entertainment. Fun kills, silly teenagers, bit of nudity, bit of violence, loads of gore, and it's all in space. What can go wrong? Jason X was the first one I watched. And like I said, I'll pop up the Letterboxd rating above my head so you can see what I thought of it. But yeah, really good start. Next up, to quite an anticipated movie. So when I showed this movie on my pickups, a lot of people commented on this one and one of its sister movies, which is part of a trilogy. And the next movie I watched this month was Gore Whore. Right. So this is from 1994. Doesn't really say who the director is. It doesn't really give you much information. The movie, but yeah, it's Audrey Street, Brady DeBousy, and Paul Woodard. this is it's a Reanimator style movie. If you've seen the movie Reanimator from the 1980s, where they try and revive death, or revive the deceased into real life, it's essentially that kind of movie. Um, yeah, the I can't remember her name in the movie. Dawn. Dawn. There you go. So Dawn is a former hooker who's died, and she's revived by a doctor to become basically her own, his own kind of sex slave, sex toy. But the more he revives her, the more she lives, the smarter she gets, to the point where she attacks him, steals his formula for reanimation, and escapes. And then the doctor hires a dodgy cop, Chase Bar, Dr. Whitman, and the cop is called Chase Bar. And basically, he pays him to go find Dawn. Dawn is not your normal kind of revived. The whole point of her staying alive is she needs human blood to survive, along with this formula. So the movie starts off with her coming home with a guy. She strips naked, gets him on the bed, he gets naked, and then she bites his penis off. Yeah. And that's how she gets her blood, and then just sucks the blood out of it to survive. That's the kind of premise you're going to get in this movie. It is silly, it's fun, it's just nonsense. When it comes to putting the formula in, the formula is in a briefcase which she's hidden, like in a safe place, so because the doctor needs that. When she goes to get it, it's hidden in a graveyard, because why would it not be? And to administer it, so she's got in the briefcase is the little tube of formula. There's a needle. Obviously, as you do, you pull the needle up. What she does with that needle then is she puts it inside the dildo. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, but here we go. And then she inserts it inside her. And that's how she administers the formula. I kid you not. I kid you not. It's just bizarre. And that's how she administers it to herself. She then tries to revive the dead in males. Now, you can probably guess where the thing goes in the male. I don't need to kind of give you clues or ideas, but there's not many holes on males where it can go. So that's for you to figure out. I had a blast with this movie. It is so fun. It's so silly. It's so bonkers. But it's so much fun. It really is. If you are a trashy horror fan, Marcus, Tim, Ash, guys, I'm looking at you. Go find this movie. You will have a blast with it. There is a trilogy. I don't think the movies are interlinked together. I just think it's a new batch of, as in it's the same cast and crew and whatnot, and it's just, I think one is called Gorotica and one is Gorgasm. I've got somewhere. Yeah. So I've got Gorotica there, which I haven't watched yet, so probably may watch that in this batch. But yeah, this was brilliant fun. Yeah, really good fun. Really silly, but really enjoyable. Cool. Next up, we watched one from the Artificial Eye label. It is by Francois Ozon. It is Under the Sand, starring Charlotte Rampling, Bruno Cromer, and Jacques Nulot. This won't be for everyone. It is a very slow-paced movie. Very simple concept, but very slow-paced. But it is all about the cast, and not only the cast, but especially Charlotte Rampling. She's really good in this. Really good. I do enjoy slow-paced movies. My rule on slow-paced movies is they just need to go somewhere. And this does it. So basically the story revolves around her and her husband, played by Bruno Cremer. They go on holiday to a villa. And the first or second day they're there, they go to the beach, which is nearby. Charlotte stays Marie, so she plays Marie, and her husband plays Jean. Name is Jean, and he goes for a swim, and she's laying on the beach reading. She has a nap. When she wakes up, he's gone. There's no sight or sound of him, nothing in the water, no bodies piling everywhere, just nothing. So she gets the police involved, and time passes by where she's still looking, but she also understands she needs to move her life along, and that's where Jacques Mulot comes in, who then gives her another life where they start getting together, but she can't stop seeing visions of her husband in the house, especially when they're getting intimate. She can see him standing in the doorway, to the point where she still goes out and buys gifts for him. She's still communicating with him in the sense that she's starting to lose reality as the movie goes on. She's starting to lose track of reality, and whatever's happening is in her head, and she needs to escape reality. And the man she meets, I think his name was Alfred. I think. I got his name written down somewhere. No, I was trying to think if I wrote his name down somewhere, but yeah, I think his name is Alfred or Albert or something along those lines. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, so she basically just starts losing faith in reality, and just losing track of reality and what's going on, until she gets a phone call from the police, which kind of gives her the news that she wanted to hear. And even then, she's not wanting to believe it. Yeah, you know what? I did enjoy this. She's really good in this, Charlotte Rampling. I've seen a couple of her movies. She was superbly good in this. Like I said, it won't be for everyone, but if you enjoy a simple concept drama that revolves more around the characters than anything else, then this is one to give it a go. It's partly in French, partly in English. But yeah, very, very good. Really, really enjoyed this. Under the Sand. And yeah, that's what I thought of it. Then my week kind of went downhill a bit, just for this movie. From 2013, by director Nimrod Zalamowitz, starring Aaron Mathias, Nathan Spinters, Laura Gilforth, and Grace Evans. Gilraith and Grace Evans. And it was Paranormal Asylum. God, I hated this. This was dull. Holy crap, it was dull. One of the few paranormal films that gets it right. No, it doesn't. It does not get it right. It gets it very wrong. The asylum itself, where this is supposed to be set, didn't look creepy at all. The cast were idiotic. Like, I hated them. I just could not get on with any of them. There was not a lot that I liked about this movie. There was a couple of jump scares that were average at best, but I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't get on with it. Like, I lost interest like maybe 3/4 of the way through, and I was just like, it was just not a good experience. Like, I enjoy paranormal movies, but even when I think there's only one time where one of the girls gets taken over by this typhoid Mary Malone, who's supposed to be the one haunting the asylum, and she's like this really, really old style British accent talking about shepherd's pie, and I'm like, wait, what? No, just no. It just I did not have a good time with this. Really, really awful. Really, really awful. I don't even understand why I rated it so highly, and you'll see. But I just did not understand what was the point of this movie. The acting was bad. Like, they were awful. Like, the two male leads were terrible. Like, flipping their lines and just shock reactions that were just dead reactions. They were just not interesting at all. Yeah, Paranormal Asylum. This will not get revisited again. Terrible. Alright, we moved then on to one from the Tartan Asia Extreme range. And it is a rewatch, it's one I've seen before. Ironically, when I checked my letterbox, it was pretty much a year to the day since I first watched this, which wasn't planned in any way. But it's Freezer, or Freeze Me, as you would see on Letterboxd. I love this movie. Absolutely love this movie. When I watched it first time around, I gave it 5 out of 5. And as you'll probably see in a second, it was also a 5 out of 5 for me again. Just absolutely brilliant. It's one in the rape revenge style genre, but not too much in the mold of I Spit on Your Grave, where it is a rape that occurs and then the female takes revenge straight away. This actually happens 5 years ago. She's raped by her friend and two of his Yakuza friends. And the shame of it, she never told the police, she never told her mum, nothing. She just left town and started a new life. She's engaged to be married and life is getting back to better for her. And then one of the rapists appears on her. She sees one of the rapists appear in her building. And the lead, played by called Chihiro, she's now panicking. And the issue is she's such a soft soul that she can't fight what's happening. And it's only one of the rapists, and he kind of gets into her life. It was the guy who was her friend, and he starts tormenting her life again, causing issues with him and her fiance, getting her fired from her job, and all he wants to do is traumatize her and continue to rape her. That's literally all he wants to do. He just wants to make her his slave, essentially, until she has enough and fights back. The way she fights back is good. Like, this movie's quite brutal in terms of what Chihiro does to kind of gain revenge. And once she's kind of disposed of him, she can't move him out of the building because somebody will see. So what she does is she buys an industrial sized freezer, or a normal freezer, like a chest freezer, leaves it in her kitchen and just sticks the body in there. And that's it. That's it. And then it repeats for a couple of times. So the next first run rapist comes. He's an idiot. He's just a very he's not someone you expect. He's kind of nerdish in terms of how he is. But again, he tries, and then the same appears, and he ends up in the same place. And then the third one, who's kind of a brute, arrives, and again he tries, and Chihiro kind of does what she needs to do. There is a really funny scene with the last one where she kills him in the living room, and she's more worried about getting blood on the carpet because she'll lose a deposit. That really made me laugh, because it just showed that although she's going through all these emotions, she's still very much concerned about what's going on around her. And as she kind of works her way through these three guys, she then learns the truth about everything that happened 5 years ago. And yeah, it's quite a dramatic ending to what happens, but it is a phenomenally done movie. It really is. It's one from Takashi Ishii, and yeah, it really was a good movie. If you get a chance to check it out, it's one I highly recommend. It's probably not one that's spoken about too much when people revisit, talk about the Tartan Asia Extreme. Obviously, you've got your Audition, Dark Water, and Battle Royales, and Tale of Two Sisters, and all that kind of stuff. Kind of get more acclaim but this is really good, really, really good. Like I said, it's not going to be for everyone. It is quite unnerving and unsettling, but it is very well done, and a really, really good movie. So yeah, Freezer. All right, so the next one we have is quite possibly my biggest letdown of the year, of this batch of movies. I mean, it'll probably be up there with probably one of my biggest letdowns of the year, and it's Scream and Scream Again. I was excited to watch this movie because look at that cast: Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. I love all three of these individually in terms of the movies they're in. A lot of the Hammer horror stuff, and I was excited to watch this as well. And in a 95-minute movie, they may be in it for 15 minutes tops, all three like inclusive, and you just feel like the movie was sold on the basis of those three names having some small part in there. So yeah, and the story itself is just so confusing in terms of what the hell is going on. There's so much happening, and it just doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't kind of link in together. They try and link it together at the end, but it's just all over the place. The movie starts with a runner running through a park, collapses, and ends up in a hospital bed with a weird nurse. And every time she comes in and out of the room, he's missing a limb, which is, I mean, okay. And then you have girls having their being killed and having their blood taken, like drained of all their blood. And there's an Eastern European army that are involved, and it's just all over the place. Like you lose track of kind of what's going on, and half the time I was lost in terms of what was happening. And it wasn't the fact that I wasn't paying attention. It was like I was trying to pay attention and trying to follow, but there was just so much happening, and it was just like I don't really enjoy this. And obviously the parts when the three main leads were in it were decent enough, but it's just like, I don't know if they tried too much. And I feel like this was an attempt to try and counteract the Hammer label because of all these three names in it, but it just went nowhere, and it just felt like you lost track of this movie. Like I didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, I rated it because of the three names in it, and just the fact that they were in it for 15, 20 minutes most was enjoyable. Their scenes were enjoyable. And so I think there's only one scene towards the end where they're actually interacting with each other. So it tells you everything you need to know. It's just very, very confusing. Yeah, it was just very, very confusing. And once I lose interest in a movie, that's it. I'm done. It takes a lot to kind of get me back in. And I think I lost interest maybe a quarter of the way through. I was just like, what the hell is happening here? Yeah. I mean, let me know what you thought of this one, Scream and Scream Again, if you've seen it. Tell me if I missed something in the movie. Like, maybe it's just me being thick and I wasn't paying attention properly, but yeah. Really nice release from Radiance, by the way. And then we managed to go back down the Paranormal Asylum type route with the movie, and it's Truth or Dare from 2012. Directed by Robert Heath, starring David Oakes, Liam Boyle, Jack Gordon, Florence Hall, and Jenny Jacks. Yeah, didn't enjoy this one either. British movie, set around a group of late teens who have a party, bully a nerd, who they call Creepy, and yeah, carry on with their lives. One of the guy's girlfriends, who's friends with the nerd, kind of leaves him alone because she's not feelings for him, but she feels friendship for him. She feels sorry for the way he's been treated. But yeah, it's like, then the movie moves forward like a year or a couple of years, and they're invited to a birthday party for the nerd. And yeah, it ends up that he's not there, his brother is there, his brother's the one throwing this party, although it's not a party, it's just a get together at a cabin. The drinks start flowing, and then the reality kicks out that this is what happens, that the nerd is actually dead. He committed suicide, and the brother's essentially out seeking revenge from these guys because he knows they had something to do with what happens essentially. The story plays out, and yeah, it's just silly. It's just really silly. It's just really, really silly. Like, and then again, the story gets then convoluted with like past stories in terms of what happened between that party and this party and interactions that they had. Yeah, there was some really uncomfortable things to watch, which made no sense, and it's just the characters were okay for what it was, but like I didn't care for any of them. Again, yeah, I didn't really care for them. The lead, I think his name was Chris. Was just an absolute tool all the way through the movie. You just like, I think his girlfriend was name was Gemma, and she was the one who was the friend with the nerd, and it was just not good fun. It really wasn't. Like, I didn't like any of them. I was quite happy, like, as they were dying. It was like brilliant. I didn't even like the brother, to be fair. Like, I didn't really care for him either. To be fair, if nobody survived, I would have been happy. Maybe that just makes me a creep. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. That's what I thought. Let me know what you thought. Truth or dare. Alright, so after those traumatic movies, the week went back upwards with Winchester 73. From 1950, it's a Western starring James Stewart, Shelley Winters, Dan Dorea, Stephen McNally. This was the first time watching it. It was super, super fun. Westerns and olden style movies is something I'm starting to get into a little bit more. Picked up on the Criterion Collection, and yeah, it was really good fun. Black and white, 92 minutes, super fun. The movie revolves around James Stewart's character, Lynn McAdam, who's chasing Nako Johnny Dean, played by Dan Dorea, and yeah, he's basically hunting him down, and they end up in this small western town where they've got a rifle tournament going on. Bear in mind, the Winchester 73 is a rifle. It's a specific specialist rifle, and Lynn McAdam ends up winning the tournament. He ends up getting the gun, the Winchester 73. Before he can leave the town, he's attacked, and Johnny Dean takes the gun from him. The movie is then Lynn chasing him down, while the gun kind of passes through different hands and different people, and yeah, each person kind of getting into their own situation. The shootout scenes are brilliant, really, really well done, really, really good fun. Just even if it's in black and white, the visual setting kind of behind what's going on is just stunning. The scenes between James Stewart and Shelley Winter as they meet towards the latter half of the movie is just really good, and the final scenes, the final shootout, basically Western, it's always going to be a final shootout, is just phenomenal. The location of the shootout, the way it works out, the quotes that they come out with, and just everything about it is just really, really well done. I had a lot of fun with this movie. Really, really good fun. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's one. If you've seen it, you'll know. But yeah, I had a very, very good time with this movie. James, it's my first portrayal into James Stewart movies, and I think it was really good. I think it was one of his later movies, maybe. But yeah, you had your main kind of Wild West characters. See, Wyatt Earp was thrown in there, and Frankie High Spade, and like, I love the names of Western characters. It's just that whole kind of era in terms of back in the day was just, some of the names people had were just so cool, and the way they were portrayed in the movie, just the whole score, the movie, the layout, the settings, the saloons, like all that kind of stuff is just fun to watch. It really, really is. But yeah, across the board, you know, the cast, the characters, Everything about it, the pacing of the movie, the way it laid out, the premise of the movie, just the simplicity of kind of what was going on, the different kinds of characters that you meet in different locations as they're kind of progressing in terms of the chase. And yeah, the end was just magnificent. Winchester 73, really good watch. Really, really enjoyed. And then we went from really good to even better somehow with No Country for Old Men. When I picked this up, I was torn whether I had seen this or not, and I hadn't. This is from 2007, the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen, starring Javier Bardem, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, Woody Harrelson, and Kelly MacDonald. Right, we're going to get the most important bit out of the way is Javier Bardem's haircut. Looks like a mushroom on his head, and it somehow makes him even more terrifying than anything else. Like he's super creepy in this movie, just forlorn of any kind of emotion, just care, just grim, miserable, demented, brutal, but it works. That haircut gives him serial killer vibes. It really did. It's just like really enjoyed this. The movie revolves around two of the main leads. Josh Brolin stumbles upon a car crash where in a pickup truck there's like millions of dollars. I think it's like $2 million, heroin and all other kinds of stuff, and he just basically nabs it. The problem is Javier Bardem is the cause of it, and he believes that he should be getting it. So he goes on a rampage to go find the money. Josh Brolin tries to survive, and Javier Bardem is the one chasing him. It's a real cat and mouse style movie. It's just phenomenal. It's just very, very slow paced. Again, something I enjoy. Tommy Lee Jones is a cop who comes in kind of later into the movie to get involved with what's going on. And Kelly MacDonald is Josh Brolin's wife in the movie. And yeah, it's good because Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem don't really interact in the movie until the latter half, which kind of builds the tension for when it's going to happen. But when they do, it gets very, very gory and brutal very, very fast. Yeah, it's like I said, Javier Bardem is the king of this movie for me. Just phenomenally good. Seriously fun. His character kind of stole the movie for me. Everything about him, everything he does in the movie is just very, very well done. It's just intimidating. Even when he's standing in a gas station, he's just intimidating the owner. Just asking him simple questions, but in a very, very intimidating way. Like, where do you live? What time do you close? What time do you open? What time do you go to sleep? And it's just done in a very, very intense manner that I think the poor shopkeeper just kind of wet himself. It was just like, nope, just whatever you need, just leave me alone, sort of thing. But yeah, that was just played out, and it was one of those where it kind of just ended, which I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all, which was really, really good because like it's not a movie that's supposed to have a cliched happy ending, because it's horrible people, horrible victims involved, things happening, money, drugs, whatnot, and then there's people stealing it and then trying to get it back. So you're not expecting anyone to have a happy ending, and you kind of get that in this movie. So I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that at all. But this was phenomenally good. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely worth checking it out. No Country for Old Men. And yeah, you can see what I thought of it. But yeah, that was it. We then went to what's been quoted as on IMDb as one of the worst films ever made. Garbage Pail Kids. I don't know why. I had fun. 1987, directed by Rod Amateu, starring Anthony Newley, Mackenzie Astin, Kate Barberi, and the Garbage Gang. I don't get the hate for this movie. I've seen worse movies. I've seen worse movies this week than this. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not great. It's not going to win awards. It's very, very bad in parts. But it doesn't try to make itself seriously. It doesn't try and take itself seriously. It knows it's going to be silly fun. There is a lot of fart jokes. There's a lot of pee jokes. There's people peeing themselves. The dolls, right? Not humans. It's just so bad. There's some random sing-alongs in it. It's just cheesy 80s fun. Now, if you can't understand cheesy 80s fun, then you're watching the wrong kind of movies. Yeah, it's like, it's there, and it's actually not bad at all. The story revolves around Dodger, who works in I think he's his uncle or a friend, or he knows him, like a magic shop. And on top of the magic shop, they've got a garbage pail can. And he's told never to kind of release what's in there. Because what's in there is the garbage pail kids. Accidentally, when he's getting bullied by... can't remember the name of the bully. But he's getting bullied, and he accidentally knocks into the can and releases what's in there. The garbage pail kids come out. He likes one of the girls with the bullies gang, Tangerine, who has a dream of becoming a fashion designer. So he helps her out, and then once the garbage pail kids are released, they help create all these dresses until naturally in these kind of movies, the criminal, the bad people find out about the garbage pail kids and then try and kidnap them. Tangerine turns out to be a bit of a witch. Put a B in front of that. You know what I'm talking about. In the way she treats Dodger and kind of exploits him for the garbage pail kids in terms of their support and everything. Garbage pail kids are what you'd expect. They're just very, very lewd characters. Like I said, a lot of childish fart jokes. I don't mind. Like, that stuff doesn't bother me. Yeah, for what it was decent enough. I really didn't mind it. I really, really didn't mind it. And I don't get a lot of the hate for it. You kind of know what you're going to get when you come into a movie like this. So you have two options: either enjoy it for what it is, or just try and pick holes in it. But then what realistically are you picking holes in? Because it kind of lets you know. I mean, you can just look at the cover on the DVD here, and you kind of get an idea of what you know. I mean, look at the garbage pail. What are you expecting? You're not expecting Oscar-worthy performances there, are you? You're just expecting a fun, silly time. So I can see why it gets a moniker of one of the worst films ever made. But I also can see that that's probably by people who take things too seriously. Just enjoy it. This is a run-of-the-mill kind of middle-of-the-road movie for me. I had fun. Would I watch it again? Possibly. I'd put it on in the background when I'm doing something else. Yeah, so there you go. Garbage Pail Kids. And last but definitely not least, we ended on another high with Ministry of Fear from 1944, directed by Fritz Lang, starring Ray Milland, Marjorie Reynolds, Carl Esmond, Hilary Brooke, Percy Warren, Dan Duryea, Anna Napier, and Erskine Sanford. Yeah, this was really good. First time watch. I knew nothing about this movie. And obviously with the indicator titles, it doesn't tell you anything about the movies. Although it does say menace behind every shadow, suspense in every move. So it gave me creepy vibes. And it was that. It was a movie basically set around the World War. Or set during the World War, actually. And the movie revolves around Ray Milland's character, Stephen Neal, who's released from an asylum after being in there for 2 years. And he basically is on his way back home to London. His trip to London kind of takes him to different locations. Like, for example, he ends up going to a fair where he meets a psychic. He ends up winning a cake. Cake becomes quite notorious in terms of the people at the fair, because the game is basically you got to guess the weight of the cake. He guesses the first time, he gets like close to it. Then he goes to see the psychic. And then the psychic gives him the exact way. He goes back, he wins the cake with a completely different weight that's just well off. And then the game owner comes back and says, no, 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 the other man has won it because he got told by the psychic what the weight of the cake is. Stephen then decides, oh, no, no, wait, wait, wait. My first guess was actually closer than his, so I should take the cake. And then he disappears with the cake. I say cake far too many times there. He ends up on a train in a carriage by himself where a blind man walks in and sits down. And they start talking. He shares his cake with him. And the blind man is not blind and then tries to attack him. He steals the cake. Far too many times I've said cake in this movie, but it is what it is. And then runs away off the train and escapes, and then gets blown up by a bomb because there's a world war going on. And yeah, so then Stephen ends up in London. He gets to where he needs to get to, and he ends up in this location, like an office building or that kind of place, and ends up sitting in a seance where somebody dies. He's killed by a gun. He's the only one carrying a gun. He tells people at the beginning there's only one bullet in it. At the end of this, there's one bullet in it, but he's on the run because nobody believes him. And yeah, so the movie is just him trying to survive and figure out what's going on. He also then uncovers a secret Nazi plot. But you know what? Like, everything that goes on in this movie, it's really good. And like, Ray Milland, who plays Stephen, it's just really, really good in this movie. Like, I really, really enjoyed. And again, the black and white vibes kind of give you just an unsettling, like there are scenes where he's running through the streets, it's very, very foggy, and then you've got the lights from the World War, like the bombs shooting off and the air raid, the sirens going off, and it's just so much different things happening, but you don't lose track of kind of what's going on because it's easy to follow. And at 87 minutes, it's a really, really good runtime, you know, less than an hour and a half. It's just enjoyable. It starts, it has a middle, and it has an end. And yeah, it's a very, very good movie. I had fun with this. Definitely a good watch. So a good way to end the week with Ministry of Fear. And again, you see why I'm all. But yeah, that was everything. So yeah, it was 11 titles. Yeah, we should be getting back to your normal weekly watches, starting from this week coming. So we're back to your kind of 6-7 titles. So it should be a lot easier to manage. But yeah, so let me know what you thought of these movies. Is there any in there that you've seen or any that caught your eye? Definitely let me know what you thought about Scream and Scream Again, whether I missed something and I was just being sick. This is a possibility. And let me know how many of you are going to go watch Gore Horror after this. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. So thank you so much.